I wanted to be a teacher because I've seen children suffering. So I said, no more suffering. If you are there for our children and the community, we will do the best.
I've been teaching for 28 years.
In May this year was a year.
1 year, 10 months.
It's almost 2 years.
This is my third year.
I've been a teacher for 3 years now.
4 years, almost 5 years.
Now is the 7th year.
8 years now.
13 jaar onderwyseres.
I've been teaching for 17 years.
More than 20 years.
21 years.
21 years.
21 years.
24 years.
25 years. 28 years.
Over 36 years. Almost 40 years now.
I wanted to be a dentist. That was my first choice. And then I found out that I can't stand blood. So education was my second choice, and it also helped the fact that, we used to play school after school, and I would always be the teacher.
I've always loved children, and I've always loved teaching, and I've also always loved standing in front of people. So I guess they all just kind of come together. So yeah, and I really, really, really love it.
I came from a family of teachers. My sister was a teacher, and it also had an influence on me. The way she has shown passion in her teaching, it just blew my mind away.
I was born in a family of teachers, like grandparents, teachers, aunts, uncles, cousins. So teaching, I feel, was in my blood.
I think it was the love of children, because I loved interacting with young kids, the young ones from the age of 3.
Most mornings, as most people, it's a mission to get up in the morning and you don't want to leave the house. And then when you come to school and you see their little faces and they get so excited to see you and they smile and they hug you, and just for me, that makes my whole day.
I love teaching, and I throw everything that I have to learners.
My grandmother was so cruel. As a result, I started working at the age of 9. She took me out of school, then she sent me to Lesotho to work for another nurse that was working in Eastern Cape in Paddy. So I went and worked there looking after the kids, but I was a kid also. I was always shouted because I forget at times, because I'm looking after the kid, I'm a kid. But in my mind, there was something that, I had a teacher in standard 2 then. She would say, out of you there will come nurses, doctors, principals, lawyers. Then in my mind I was always having that one day I will graduate. I'll find a job at St. Francis Adult Education Center as a secretary. The principal, Mjuleni, and I was calling her Mom Nuku, she was a secretary. Those ladies, they said, no, you are going to school. Open your eyes, start working. Forgotten her name. I was always going to her office crying. Do you think I'm called for this? Then she will always tell me that, you know what, you are going to make it. No, don't cry. You are a teacher. We can find a teacher from you. Even the kids that they were sending us to, they helped me a lot to find really I'm a teacher, and I began to love kids. I began to bond with the kids. And it was so easy for me, as on my first year, they were like, is it your first year really? Yes, it's my first year. It's because of my mentors.
My father passed away in 1970, so we went to live with my mother only. So she was the only one in the family. So I said to myself, if I want to be a teacher so that I can help other children at home and in the community. I love teaching, I love children, that is the main thing.
I went to this route because it was something that was easier for me because I had no parents. I grew up, I was the eldest at home. My mother passed away when I was doing standard 10. And I was the eldest. So it was the easiest one and the one that gives me bursary. So I decided to take it because we're gonna need something to live and to support the younger ones at home. Then when I'm here, I said, no man, I love kids. This is where I belong.
What made his mother to love him? Zintle? I wanted to be a teacher when I was growing up because of the environment that I was living in, because I'm coming from the Eastern Cape, from those rural areas. And it was the first time for me to come in a big city. I wasn't even comfortable, first of all, with the environment. Then I have to work in this big city. And then I'm finding school here and new people, everything was new to me. And it was so difficult, I don't want to lie to you.
My daughter was born with Down syndrome, and I actually wanted to do special needs to cope with her needs and to better her. Being a teacher, you should be a lifelong learner, and I'm open to any challenge, and I like to learn. So that's why my door was open for EduPig and Garden. And this year, the beginning of the year, I got into it with the techniques that I've covered last year. I got into it, my entry routine, my exit, my classroom management, the tools and the type of techniques that I can use in the class is just working for me, and this program has helped me a lot. The techniques that I'm using for my classroom discipline, I can actually, in the morning, when they do now as they come in, I can do my register. And they are set in their routine, they know what they are supposed to do. When they come into the classroom, their do now is ready, it's on the board, they're settled. My seun, hy het leerprobleme ondervind en ek kon nie die onderwysterme verstaan waarmee die onderwysers gekommunikeer het met my nie. En ek het so 'n passie ontwikkel om vir hom te wil help. En toe het ek besluit, hoekom gaan studeer ek nie onderwys nie, dan kan ek my kind beter help. En dit was grootliks die rede hoekom ek onderwyseres geword het.
I wanted to give up teaching before EduPig started at school, and I told the mentor, look, I had enough of teaching, I'm just going to quit, and she's been encouraging me all the time and showing me, and actually I felt that, okay, somebody is seeing my work and the type of work I'm doing and encouraging me, and I thought, just give it a try, and now I feel I can do it for another 20 years.
Come, can you see your mistake?
Right, great man.
Generally, my classroom was disorganized, very disorganized. Even the table was full of books. There was no lesson plan. I wasn't planning anything. I was just coming and teaching and opening a book, just teaching. But Mrs. Smith has helped me with planning, organizing of the kids. Like the kids were roaming around. It was disorganized, really. I thought to myself, let me give this program a chance because my class, I want to be a best teacher. I can see I'm failing somewhere, somehow, and I'm glad I did. My class have changed a lot. It's more like enjoyable. The kids are enjoying themselves. They're more disciplined. They know exactly what to do and when to do it. Even the marks has improved a lot because they're more relaxed. I've got them now in a more relaxed manner. They can participate. The class is always joyful, so they enjoy it. They even enjoy coming to school.
Like I have a 2-year-old, eh? So the strong voice. Because then before you just, stop it, stop it, stop it. No, now it's like, Thabo, stop it. And then I look at him. He'll go on and then he will stop. So you see, it's helping already. There at home, it helps.
My kids were not behaving very well. So I thought that I was lacking the discipline measures. So through mentorship of EduPac, I've got the measures how to discipline the kids. So it made a great difference because my kids now are well behaving through using those strategies we were mentored by the EduPac program.
I started working with Mom Linda this year. It's such a great pleasure. Most of the time she would come and it would be home language, which is English in our school. Then I would say, you know what, go to another class, you'll come back for maths because when it comes to home language English, I know we've been working together for a long time, so develop me in something else. And she would come back and help me with something else. So the relationship is very good.
She's that person who is willing to help. She goes an extra mile with a person. For example, when I came here, in as much as I was a teacher, but I wasn't like a best teacher like I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling so confident in the class and I know exactly what to do. She made my life easier.
She helps on a personal level. Last week she came on Tuesday, my son was sick. And then she came back this week. She's like, you know what, I understand my child also. And then it felt good to know, okay, she understands what I'm going through. And it's easy to talk to. So the relationship we have, it's good.
The first thing I received from Mrs. Smith is love. And that thing drives me to do everything.
The first time he sit there, he did speak with me first. I'm Mr. Bill, and I've come to mentor you, to support you. I say thank you. He did support me. Now I can do my double planning, I can do my lesson, I can do everything. He did give me some journal. When I read my comments, I said, I can do much better. I will do more. Then when I studied the techniques, I said, I like joy factor. I say, I bring joy to my class.
Tamara, can you stand up and explain what I've said? My mentor is Mr. Chuma.
Thank you for your lesson for today.
Since he came to the school, we developed a brotherhood relationship. So he's mentoring a younger brother. So whenever he comes to school, Even if I'm not there, he will call me to say, I heard or you are not at school, I'm here, whatever, get well. If it's a sick leave, if it's a family responsibility, he will tell me you will be well, don't stress, and all those things. So we are in a good relationship with Mr. Chuma.
They guide us in our lessons, so we know how to come up with objectives of each and every lesson through their effort. Their training, leadership training, they assist me. They gave me the template for the monitoring of the lessons, everything at the school. Every morning I just move around and check if everyone is doing what is expected of her.
Through EduPeg being involved in my school, it's been easier for myself and my management team to implement change, to teach teachers that you start by grappling with a curriculum. And that prep and planning is vital. And that you don't just teach and assess just for the sake of doing those activities.
Mrs. Moodley, and then I worked with her. She's so amazing, and she's so humble, and I've learned a lot of things from her, more than anybody else, because she's so calm, she's so supportive. I wasn't even comfortable to have somebody in my classroom. Ish. But she made me to be comfortable, and I think she understood me. More than anybody.
Best moment is when you meet these kids, and I've been teaching for 28 years now, and you meet them and they tell you, I'm a husband, I'm a wife, I've got kids, and I've made something of myself, and you feel, well, I've done my part. Because now we are encouraging these kids not only to just go and look for work after matric, to go to university, to go to college, and a lot of our kids now are taking that route. So I'm happy. That is my highlight. If I can go on pension and enjoy my life, at least I know I have contributed to the development of our kids.
I'm thinking of maybe more recently going to a meeting where we would meet with the University of Western Cape, social work departmental head, and there were principals who were going because the students would come do their practical year. And the coordinator of the program is an ex-pupil of ours. She's doing a doctorate in social work. And then to join us there as one of the representatives of the school was a deputy principal whom I had taught at Nooitgedag Primary. That was 27 years ago. So we've made little differences in people's lives, and they now come and you see the fruits thereof.
I went shopping one day and I was pushing the trolley, and this guy was pushing and he was looking at me and pushing, and every aisle I went, I passed this guy, and I felt after a while I felt uncomfortable because this guy was now following me around every aisle, and then he stopped me and he said, "Excuse me, are you not a teacher at Northwood Primary?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Do you know you were my grade 1 teacher?" And I said, "Wow." And he ran and he called his wife and he brought his child and he said, "This was my grade 1 teacher." And that was just one of the highlights also, that they still remember you and they are so excited when they see you.
Having established rapport with my ex-learners for me is an accomplishment. Right now I'm on Facebook with so many of my ex-learners, and most of them are abroad. The one morning, one of my ex-learners gave me a Skype call And when the phone went off, I realized, wow, you're not in South Africa, because what time is it now? I'm just about cleaning my eyes because I'm getting up. I'm saying, Elton, wait, no, I can't speak to you now. I first need to wash. I can see you dress. It's a different time and all in your country where you are. So for me, it's interesting that I could still establish rapport with my learners when they come back and they've qualified. That for me is in itself is a highlight.
Super! Great stuff.
In 1977, when I was at James Ndulula, a family was fighting and there was a divorce in between. I went to court and I was so pleased when the magistrate said to me, teachers, you must take good care of your children. You must be the second parents. It's like this, we as teachers, we must play a big role to our children and look through them. We can see their Atlantica, their feelings, you know. If a child is struggling, you see yourself by something is happening here. If the child is not well cared for.
We're teaching young children who come from disadvantaged backgrounds, and we like their parents, like their mothers, we are their role models.
Children come from homes where there's no love, there's no acceptance, there's sometimes no parents.
Sometimes I give my lunch to the children. When I noticed that this one came with empty stomach.
I know that I'm a social worker, I'm a teacher, I'm a parent, the whole day.
It's the difference between a job and a call. If it's a job, I wouldn't be here.
Sometimes you receive kids in class that haven't eaten for the day or that didn't sleep for the day, especially for the areas that they come from. And then when you do set time aside to speak to that little one, just to calm him down or just to do something for her or him, I think in those little things that you do every day for that child to make a difference, that is how teachers make a difference.